We are very fortunate to have our next panel. We have mayors from each of the municipalities and a representative from the county. I'd like to introduce our next panel, our future, our region. I'd like to invite to the stage Mayor Gabriel Reyes, City of Adelanto. Mayor Scott Nassif, Town of Apple Valley. Mayor Dr. Paul Anthony Courtney, City of Barstow. Mayor Pro Tem Rebekah Swanson, City of Hesperia. And Terry Thompson, joining us from San Bernardino County, Director of Real Estate Services Department. Welcome today. So each year we dive into each of the cities in the county to see what's new, what's happened in the previous year, and what's planned for the coming year. One of the beautiful things about our region is access to local municipalities. You can't do this in Orange County, you can't do it in LA County, and that's one of the beauties about being in our region and developing in our region. So with that, we'll start with our first question. New commercial development, and I did steal somebody's mic, so I better bring that back. It's gone. So, okay, everyone got a mic? Okay, good. So what we'll do is we'll start with new commercial development in each of your cities. And Mayor Courtney, tell us what's going on in the city of Barstow.
Well, the city of Barstow. Actually, what's happening in Barstow really affects the whole region. It affects Apple Valley, Victorville, Hesperia, Atlanta, all in the unincorporated areas, etc. Barstow's really arrived. It's really arrived. I can talk about the big project. Many have heard about it, the Barstow International Gateway. The BNSF Railroad has actually picked us, selected us, to invest $1.5 million minimum and then some to build a land port. Let me tell you, it's actually going to change the world, as we say, because Barstow is changing. I would actually not give due credit by kind of quoting what's going on. Let me tell you what the railroad says. Let's see. The first of its kind integrated rail facility in the world, using cargo landing equipment and trucks powered by clean energy, and then staged and built the trains, moving east via BNSF network across the nation, bringing thousands of direct jobs, and these are living wage jobs, to the high desert communities while reducing port congestion and minimizing, as well as maximizing rail and distribution efficiency regionally and across the USA, United States supply chain. So what I'm saying, being on the global stage, Barstow has definitely arrived, and we're on the global stage. And I have more when the next question comes up. There's just a lot going on in Barstow. Yeah. And we depend on the region, and the region depends on us. So that's just a glimpse as to what's happening in Barstow.
Thank you. Mayor Reyes, I know you guys have been busy in Adelanto. What kind of new commercial developments and activity have you had in 2023, and what do you see in 2024?
So, great morning, everybody. It is a pleasure and honor. Thank you for having the cities up here, being able to engage with all of our constituents and, partners, because we believe in Adelanto that it's economic development that's going to stimulate our economy, and the city can't do it alone. We need partners, we need believers in us. So just thank you for giving us the time to be able to share some of the things that we're doing in Adelanto. In 2023, we had 10 permits that were issued that range from gas station, car washes. Yes, car washes. I know the high desert may be tired of car washes, but poor old little Adelanto, we don't have any, so we're excited for the 2 that we do have. The commercial buildings, Really trying to address the retail issues with structures, because there is a lot of people who are ready to get back out there and kind of have their own space and their business space. In 2024, we have 13 upcoming commercial and industrial development projects that include the gas stations, drive-through restaurants, supermarket, convenience stores, hotels, drive-through coffee shops, EV parking, and additional facilities. Obviously, the cannabis industry is something that has helped the city thrive, so that is also in that mix.
Oh, great. Great, thank you. Mayor Nassif, I think you have a car wash too.
Finally, Orlando prepared these notes for me so I didn't forget anything, and I don't see anything about a car wash on here, but we did get one. So, we didn't really have a full service until now, but we're looking forward to that too. But yeah, there is a lot happening in Apple Valley, so I wanted to make sure we covered all this. But none the least is our North Apple Valley specific plan, which we had put in place several years ago and started to spur, of course, the development of Home Depot warehouse and the Walmart warehouse. And now we have 20 million square feet of warehousing and industrial development that's in the entitlement process. And so that's working on that all along the freeway and in North Apple Valley. One of the big projects right now that's coming in is a Covington Development Project, which is 2.5 million square feet of industrial campus close to Stoddard Wells and the freeway. And the other one is the Locktech Furniture Manufacturing, which is 1.2 million. That's an owner-occupied facility in a manufacturing. So that's going to be closer to the big lots. So looking forward to that. On the retail side, we've talked about what we're getting, and Apple Valley is always kind of on the tail end sometimes of the retail because we're so far away from the freeway. But we're going to get the first ground-up Sprouts Rights farmers market, Raising Cane's, and a more furniture store. We've never had a furniture store, a large furniture store in our community. And there's a few others that Orlando said I can't mention yet, but some other national chains that are coming to Apple Valley, and we're looking forward to that as well. I did tell my wife, so if you want to find her, she knows the new ones are coming in. Of course, the Love's Travel Center out by the Stoddard Wells, that's going to help us with our retail and tax and gas generating, and hopefully help with our infrastructure on that end. Coldstone Creamery, that was a big one that everybody was looking forward to. That finally opened up in the dead of winter, and you could drive by there, and there's at 40 degrees, there's still people out there in line to get into Coldstone, so that's important. Providence Medical Center, and that's they've decided to invest in Apple Valley, and we're very excited to see their expansion here. Of course, they've had a stroke center here in Apple Valley, and the two things that they're going to bring, which we really don't have in the Victor Valley, is the Sexual Assault Center. If you don't realize that, those centers are actually down the hill, and we're going to have one up here, which will make a big difference in taking care of those folks that need that care and may make the decision not to go down the hill and stay here and get the treatment they need. And a trauma center. So we've been working with them, and they've been talking about finally bringing a trauma center to St. Mary's. Talking about a level 3 to start with, which they're kind of at now. So it won't be a big jump and then move on to the other levels. So that's very exciting to do. Let me see, there was one last thing you wanted me to make sure I didn't miss. Oh yeah, Yucca-Loma expansion. Thank you, Victorville, for expanding the Green Tree extension. That made a big difference in Apple Valley, except now we've got to deal with all the traffic we have at Yucca-Loma and Apple Valley Road. But that has spurred a lot of interest now on the Quail Ridge 30-acre project at the corner of Apple Valley Road and Yucca-Loma Road. So that's getting a lot of interest, as well as a lot of other commercial interest. The extension in all the way from Yucca-Loma into the village. So the village, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but they're really, I just talked to Bob Tinsley earlier this morning. There is no lease space available in the village, and they're expanding and building in that area and getting a lot more interest because of that extension, and the council is working on some infrastructure projects, which I'll talk about later. But a lot going on, and if I missed anything, we'll try to pick it up a little later. Thanks. And
the
Jason.
car wash.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Swanson, you don't have much going on in Hesperia at all, right?
Oh, my goodness. We've got a lot going on. And thank you, Jason, for having me. And I love having this opportunity to have all of us together. We should have more. Let's go to lunch. Because we have so many things that support each other. And I think that's unique among municipalities, is we really know each other and we support each other. And Hesperia is grateful for that. Anybody like to eat? Anybody? Okay, a lot of people like to eat. Many opportunities are coming up in Hesperia. Some of them have already had a soft opening. Dairy Queen, long lines there on Bear Valley Road. Every time I go by, I go, I probably shouldn't get in that line. Rosa Maria's. I know I was an elementary school teacher for 38 years. I just retired, and my superintendent of the best school district in the state of California, much less the world, is sitting back there, Dave Olney, and he is a huge fan of Rosa Maria's. We're getting a Panera Bread that's down by the Aldi's. Golden chopsticks, and coming soon. We had a buffet that my best beloved and I, our family, just loved. It closed, and now it's going to open with a different name, Oasis Buffet. It's on Main Street in Topaz. Veganburg, haven't been there. Don't think I can drag the spouse there, but we could always give it a try. Wingstop, Lickin' Fried Chicken. That sounds good. I think it's all in the name, isn't it? Popeyes. And some of our new commercial development, I think everyone's seen the warehouses that are popping up in Hesperia along the freeway. Maersk is now choosing Hesperia for their 1.2 million square foot distribution center. And I think, before people just thought of us as a place to drive through. And maybe they'd stop in Hesperia for an In-N-Out on the way to Vegas. And that is no longer the case. I mean, we're just from hearing my fellows up here, this is an enormous opportunity for growth in the right way. And looking at families who want to come here and offering them places that they can work and they don't have to drive down the hill, which is not a very safe thing to do nowadays. Would you like me to wait for housing?
Yeah, I'll circle back around on housing.
All right, very good, because I have some really exciting things to say about that.
Well, thank you. Interestingly, thank you.
Oh, go ahead and clap. Let's go.
The Rosa Maria's, by the way, I share new development with my wife, by the way. We have this coming, we have this. We have Sprouts coming. She's like, okay. Rosa Maria's. We got to go. When is it opening?
It's opening already.
Yeah.
They're figuring things out.
We're probably going there after this. So thank you. Terry, what's going on in the county? You guys have been a little bit busy.
Yes, we've been very busy. Thank you for having me. Terry Thompson, Real Estate Director with San Bernardino County. What we do, we handle all the real estate needs for all 42 county departments throughout the county. We've been very busy as the county has continued to grow and community needs have presented themselves. So one thing that we've taken advantage of, we've bought 8 office buildings in the last year, all for county purposes. And we're getting a pretty good price per pound on them. The lease versus buy analysis makes a lot of sense. So we've been very busy throughout the county, including the high desert. We've done 4 purchase transactions in the last year in the high desert. One for the Sheriff's Department, one for the DA, one for probation, and one for the Department of Public Health. So we've been very busy both on a acquisitions and on a lease basis. We basically, are either buying or leasing buildings that make sense for county purposes, or we're selling land. Now, residential land that is zoned and deemed for residential is still active, and we're going through some projects there that are flood control district surplus land that we're looking to sell. I will say that we suspended our initiatives to sell some large parcels for industrial. Just to give an example, and this is down the hill. In the industrial market from a sales perspective peaked in late 2021. So in say in San Bernardino, greater area, you get unentitled industrial zoned land for $55, $65 to $65 per square foot. And that was the value of some flood control land that we were looking to sell. And then when we were getting ready to sell it and move forward, the market had dropped because of the uncertainty in the interest rates in the capital markets, and that same land was now valued at $20 a foot. So the market's changed quite a bit. It's restabilizing because the ports are getting better, so rents down the hill anyway, they're off 30% for industrial. So even though it's still a good industrial market, things have changed just because of the capital markets and uncertainty out there. But so we track all that. We work a lot with the private sector when we're either buying or leasing property, as well as with all the municipalities throughout the county, including all my colleagues that are up here, and we appreciate the partnership and doing what we can do to work with these communities and make them viable and improve their economic vitality. So it's a pleasure to be here. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll circle back in a little bit about the Surplus Land Act. That's a little bit fascinating. Mayor Becerra, how are you doing?
Good morning. Thank you.
You've had a little bit of development, I think, in the city of Victorville.
Just a little bit, but when I grow up, I want to be Terry. All of us bought notes, and look at him. He just rattled all that off. You teach me how. Good morning, everybody. And yes, we do have a couple of car washes, just a bit.
This couple.
But we're helping with the water table. All of our car washes are recycled water, so we take good with the bad.
Yeah.
In Victorville, the Victorville economy is still thriving. We were, in 2023, we were voted 13th from Smart Asset, ranked on the fastest growing cities in the nation. And the traffic shows that. All of us realize that. And our roadways do. It wasn't made for 13th. It was made for 300. So we continue to be top for both the small and the large and small businesses. In 2023, we welcomed 200 new businesses in the city of Victorville. Everything from the coffee shop, yes, to the car washes. We welcomed Victor Valley's first CarMax and Superior Groceries. And sorry, by the way, our Sprouts opens up tomorrow morning at 6:30 in the morning, those of you who'd like to be there. Also, yes, we're behind Hesperia. Our Raising Cane's is going to be located between the Winco and the Chevron gas station on Roy Rogers. So all of that courthouse traffic will be thankful for that, at least I will. Also opening up this year is called the PACE Center. It's going to be 170-bed skilled nursing facilities is going to open up on Amethyst. That will help with the skilled bed and everything. Those who have been here knows that Desert Knolls West is probably one of our oldest here, but it's still open and everything, so we'll be opening up a new one. In commercial development, at SCLA, thanks to our partner Prologis, 3 large industrial buildings are opening up at 2.4 million square feet. Another 1 million square feet is going in next to the Amazon Fulfillment Center, is going to be Goodyear. Amazon Fulfillment Center also opened up 1,000 jobs expected when it's all up and running. We're also opening up a Coca-Cola distribution center at the Foxborough Industrial Park. That's off Nisqually. We also opened up a 2.2 million square feet on the former West Wind Golf Course. They're going to start building there. So building out at SCLA is just booming. We will also open up a New Jersey Mike's and a Chipotle that went in at Palmdale in 395. So at 95 square miles, yeah, you're going to have to drive from one end to the other to try to get something, and it's going to take you a little while to get there. So we look for more development, more building.
Thank you. Thank you. Mayor Courtney, little project coming to Barstow, up to 20,000 direct and indirect jobs. Barstow's going to need some housing, I take it. Can you give us an update on housing in Barstow?
Update on housing. Well, Barstow is very close to Hesperia, Apple Valley, Victorville, and Atlanta. So when we're asked questions about housing, whether we have 500 new starts, or 1,000 new starts, or 50 new starts. In Barstow itself, we don't have a lot of new starts. Our CM and our staff have really worked at streamlining things to make sure when the venture capitalists discover Barstow for the real estate bliss, we're prepared. But we're prepared right now to say, yes, we have housing. We're 35 miles away from, and we list the cities. Because the cities support what we're doing as we support what they're doing. And so Barstow is definitely open for business. We need to contact Zillow, because we've seen a screen earlier. Zillow kind of talks about the affordable housing on the East Coast. We have affordable housing on the West Coast. And we're going to encourage them to discover 92311 and then some to make sure they realize that we have affordable housing in the region, in the high desert. And yes, we do have affordable housing in Barstow.
Great.
And that's where we're at.
Thank you. Mayor Reyes, I know you guys have had quite a bit of activity, both new tract development, new home development. Can you give us an update in 2023 and what you see in 2024 for new housing in Adelanto?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know how I missed the industrial plug with the commercial, but I'll be quick. We have 18 million square feet of industrial work in the city of Adelanto. Second quarter of 2024, we're going to break ground at about 2.5 million with Steel Wave. So with that 18 million of industrial warehousing coming to Adelanto over the next 3 to 5 years, housing is going to for sure be a demand, right? For every million square feet, it's roughly 750 to 1,000 jobs, right? So if we're creating 18,000 potential more jobs, we're going to for sure need the houses, right? The city of Adelanto, we're not rebuilding a city like our neighboring cities here, right? We have the land. And one of the things that we're excited about doing is when it comes to housing, in 2023, we had about 90 single-family residential permits issued and about 10 ADU permits issued. In 2024, there are 7 single-family projects comprising of over 423 units in the pipeline. And in 2023, we finished off with 24 units in that pipeline, right? So we're excited with that. But the biggest part that we're excited when it comes to the housing is there's something called the pro-housing element that the state of California has really tried to push to incentivize. I'm not going to talk about all the funding pools that are there, but the pro-housing element is something that they're pushing to for workforce housing, for affordable housing, transitional housing, even market rate housing. But there's hundreds of millions of dollars in that housing element. And the great thing to say is we're actually one of the first 2 cities in the high desert, and I believe even in the county, that's working on the housing element. And what it does is it gives the city the ability to pretty much go to the front of the line for the funding when it comes to addressing these housing crises, right? So we're excited to be up there in the pipeline. Usually Adelanto has been in the past missed or left out of those even scenarios, right? So we're excited that we're moving forward because we want to build 5,500 more homes. Those are the arena numbers that were asked of us to do. Whether we agree with it or not, we have the land, and we're willing to go ahead and build and help the housing crisis, not just for the region, but just to be able to grow as an area, right? We're excited for all the growth with our neighboring city because when one rises, we all should rise, right? So we're just happy to be able to do our part, and housing is something most definitely that we're focusing on in the city of Adelanto in 2024.
Thank you. Thank you. Mayor Nassif, can you give us an update in the town of Apple Valley housing, what occurred in 23 and what you see in 2024 coming forward?
Well, we, as everybody else is, working very hard. We obviously see the industrial growth, retail growth, and everything happen, not just in Apple Valley, but all through the area and the valley itself. And so we are trying to get ourselves prepared for that growth and demand as well. We did get our housing element approved, so we're set at that level. One of the big issues in Apple Valley, and that we heard from our builders, is our design criteria, kind of impeded builders and developers in Apple Valley. So we've been working very hard over the last couple of years to upgrade our design criteria without sacrificing our standards and the quality that is expected in Apple Valley. We worked with our planning department, builders, architects, and our council, and have changed and adopted some new design criteria, which should help, and that includes a lot of the way our multifamily, or even our commercial development too, and our housing development on landscaping requirements and just design standards. Because of course we still have a lot of, Apple Valley is still known for its half-acre lots. How do we create a quality community and still keep our design standards? So that was important. We got that done, and that's actually creating a lot more demand in housing. So recently, the council, through the planning department, and approved a zone change on Deep Creek Road over by Del Oro, 120 acres on the east side of Deep Creek Road, for 120 acres for 99 new homes. So that's exciting for us, and I think the changes in the standards and the ability to build those help create that. We're getting a lot more interest in the tracks that have been approved, and a lot of folks coming in and looking at new tracks in Apple Valley. And of course, we're known for our infill housing. Steady growth there continues every year. We have several homes that, growth in Apple Valley. I see 3 or 4 in my own neighborhood right now building homes on the infill lots. And those are, custom and semi-custom homes for builders, and that's kind of been a tradition in Apple Valley for the last 60 years. So that continues to grow, and we're looking forward to that, and may continue to keep the quality and the standards high in Apple Valley as people come to expect that. So lots happening, and we're really trying to prepare ourselves for the demand as we move forward.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Swanson, housing, City of Hesperia. You guys have also been very busy.
Oh, very busy, and we're likely to become much more busy. We have the third largest employer in San Bernardino is the Hesperia Unified School District, one of the best, and that attracts families, young families, and we need to be more open to providing those opportunities for them to build a home and have their family up here. And that has kind of been one of our growth areas. Single family residential, we're up to 142, and our multifamily, 142 also, with 182 last year. So we're expecting much more coming to Hesperia. But I think the big story is going to be Silverwood. And I know you're going to hear from John Ohanian later, but this has been talked about since I moved to the Hesperia area in 1985, that this would be, it was going to be a wonderful place. Well, now we see exactly what kind of place it is. Everything's been thought out. And the initial phase is on 9,000 acres. There's a lot going on out there. And you'll hear about it later, but they're starting to deliver 2,000 homes in the first phase. And there's a Silverwood Trail bridge that has 2 150-foot single-span bridges that go over a future equestrian trail. And one of those things about Silverwood and supporting our families and their outdoor lifestyle is that there is a connection to the Pacific Crest Trail. And to be outdoors and have your kids outdoors and playing and just being open to families, that's what Hesperia is all about, is a place to raise your family. I'm excited to see it, and they're going to be having model homes opening in the fall. I hope I'm not stealing John's thunder, but I'm sure he'll give you a lot more details about that. But it's about families and places to work and making sure you don't have to travel down the hill. And I think we're all kind of on that same page, is, well, it's a safe place to raise your family. And that's where Hesperia is growing the most.
Oh, thank you. Terry, I'm going to get right back to you. I'm going to ask you how the county is going to support all this growth in a second. Mayor Becerra, I understand Victorville also has quite a bit of new housing.
Along with our car washes.
With car washes.
Our car washes have
Yes.
allowed us.
You need them for the housing.
Exactly. For the recycled water that our car washes use. In 2023, approximately 500 single-family homes were finalized in the city of Victorville. They project this year, 2024, 625 single-family homes will be finalized. We currently have 14 active family home developments throughout Victorville. The number of single-family homes has been steadily going up, since 2015. The builders of Pacific Communities, first time they've been back in the desert since the Great Recession, and all of us remember that. Our housing market is nothing but building. So of everything we've been building, 110 multifamily units were built in 2023, and in 2024, 56 have already been put on the books. We expect our housing market to continue to rise and continue to be building to help support our car washes.
Oh, thank you. Terry, the county building any car washes?
Not that I'm aware of.
So, as we've heard from the mayors, obviously a lot of activity. What does the county see for growth? I mean, we've had tremendous growth, really. For 50 years we've had tremendous growth. We pushed over 500,000 in the high desert, and it's going to continue to grow. What do you see as support for the county moving forward, and what do you anticipate needs?
Well, as all the mayors said up here, and it's county-wide, there's a lot of growth in the county, and it's an affordability, question, right? Is that this area is more affordable than other areas, so young families and folks are moving out here or relocating here or expanding here, and so that's creating more county need and more county services. So infrastructure is a big issue. I know our public works department's been very busy in that endeavor. And just reflective of what I said earlier, the fact that the county is growing is creating a demand on our services. So we're growing, and it's a good thing for me. I'm glad you didn't ask me a housing question per se, because I'm not a housing guy. I'm a commercial real estate guy, and we're definitely growing to support the needs of the community that are a result of the residential activity in people coming here, and I think the continued challenge is there's a shortage of supply, so the demand with the shortage of supply is driving those prices up, which is great if you're already in a home and your appreciation's going up, not so great if you're trying to get in on a relative basis, but we're seeing that growth, and it's just reflective of the services and the increase in services that we're providing in all the departments countywide.
Thank you. And can I use that plug? The most affordable place in Inland Empire, great place to move to, you said, right?
Sure.
Well, thank you. Infrastructure, obviously, is with this growth, we're concerned about infrastructure. And by the way, the Yuckaloma Bridge and Green Tree expansion was phenomenal. I travel that every day. Why is it now busier than Bear Valley Road? I now have to take Bear Valley because it's a quicker workaround. So, but the infrastructure has been great. We've been growing, and we're going to need it in the future. So my question is really, one, infrastructure and capital improvements in each of the cities and town, and any special projects that you're working with. I'm going to combine two questions in one. And Mayor Courtney, I'll start with you, City of Barstow.
Great question. First of all, I want to thank the county for not sitting on their wallets and really partnering with the City of Barstow and our entire region to really support us and help us on infrastructure, because that's definitely a need we have. I mean, listen at this, and I didn't share this. This is in Barstow. Okay, Barstow has a Marriott product now, which opened in Barstow. 2 new Starbucks, a new sizzling Burger King, mouth-watering Wiener Schnitzel. Yes, we're in the cannabis business. 15, actually, dispensaries, etc., in place. But more importantly, electric cars and trucks. We know the electric cars and trucks is part of our new normal. Well, out in Barstow, this is the infrastructure again. We currently have 108 public charging stations in place in Barstow. In addition, 123 on the horizon. It's going to be East Main Street. Goes right back to infrastructure that we need in Barstow. And the county has come to and supports us. And we actually have partnered. Okay? We also have the brand new bridge, which connects Main Barstow to North Barstow. Another infrastructure need that was needed. Our bridge in Barstow, built in 1932, wooden bridge. Many had no idea that it actually was wooden in Barstow, and it was built in 1932. But now in 23, 24, is coming to life as we speak. Over 65% complete. Infrastructure improvement. North Barstow, okay? Barstow's unique in what we do. ADA compliance. We have some ADA compliance issues, especially in North Barstow. Okay, we are working on it right now, making those improvements. Once again, partnering with the county of San Bernardino, realizing that we need help. Let's see. I just want to make sure we don't miss anything. Okay, we currently have one sewer plant, our reclamation plant, where we're upgrading that as we speak. In future development, structure, expanded Barstow to 4,500 acres with the big project, et cetera, we know, county knows, that we're going to have to improve the infrastructure. County stepped up again and said, okay, as we move forward and make progress, we're there to support you. Because if we support Barstow, we support the county, we support the region. So it's just phenomenal things have arrived in Barstow. Because once again, we're building a better Barstow, and Barstow's arrived, and definitely, County of San Bernardino, thank you for not sitting on the wallet and partnering with Barstow to help build a better Barstow for all of us. So that's where we're at. Lots of great things happening in Barstow.
Thank you. Now, what's interesting is First Street Bridge in Barstow, the mayor referenced, is 92 years old. And to be frank, I grew up there. It was scary. The new bridge next to it, it looks like a Model T and a Tesla sitting next to each other. So it's very impressive, and I'm glad to see that. That's been talked about for 40 years, replacing that bridge. So great project. Mayor Reyes, infrastructure, capital improvements, special projects in the city of Adelanto.
Oh, man. That's one of the biggest things that we focused on in Adelanto. For those of you who lived up here in the high desert, for many years it was kind of hard to tell whether you're driving on a road or a dirt road in Adelanto, because the streets were, let's just be honest, they weren't being paved, right? Infrastructure was something that was severely neglected in our community prior to my administration. So some of the things that we've done in 2023, a lot of road improvements, not just repaving, right? So we've done White Avenue, Jonathan Street, Chamberlain Way, right around our $2.8 million park. We've done Auburn Avenue and Jonathan Street. Our main corridor is I would say, what I would love to turn into like our old town is Bartlett Avenue. I would say Bartlett Avenue was probably one of the top 3 worst roads in Adelanto. We've completed the west side of Bartlett. Now we're working on the east side of Bartlett on 395, and that should be completed here by the end of the next month. We've repaved also Koala Road, right, going out there towards El Mirage. There is a part of town coming off of El Mirage Road where it was a smooth drive because the county did a phenomenal job paving El Mirage, and then when you make that right onto Koala, that was welcome to Adelanto, because it was just bumpy, really, really bad, right? So we repaved all of Koala, and that project has been completed. The phase 2 will be from Chamberlain down to Rancho Road. On that project there. So we have all of Bartlett, Koala, and we're going to be working on Bartlett on a Bellflower next. And we do want to thank all of our partners, the county, SBCTA, SCAG, our assemblymen, our congressmen, our senators, right, for all the tremendous support that they've showed the city over the years. So our total linear miles is more than 5 linear miles, and we did about $7.3 million in capital improvement projects there on the roads. When it comes to our wastewater facilities, we are about to throw out to bid, I believe, a master hydrology study, right? We know when it rains up here in the high desert, before we used to say that it pours, I feel that it floods, right? The rain is just no joke. And that's just something that we can look at for various different reasons, but one of the major factors that we have here is that the Mojave River flows north, right? So we have one of the few rivers in the world where the water flows north. And unfortunately, Adelanto captures Pinion Hills, Phelan, the mountains, part of Victorville, and all that water just flows through Adelanto. Caltrans is heavily affected, so we want to thank Caltrans and being able to get out there quick and work on that. And one of the big projects that we have that we're excited to announce that's going to change, I would say, infrastructure as a whole in our city is we're working on removing an MOU that was established back in 1985. So for a lot of you who lived up here in the high desert, I believe it was Highway 222 that they were talking about building. Well, when that project passed, the mayor and Caltrans in 1985 signed an ordinance that was going to projected to kill economic development of a Highway 395, right? Well, in 1999, I believe, when the project was put on hold, the city of Victorville and the city of Hesperia were able to modify the MOU, but the city of Adelanto never did. So if you notice, when it comes to economic development off of our main corridor, where we have 40,000 people that drive up and down because it goes all the way up to the Canadian border, there's been no economic development off of 395, and it's because of that MOU, right? So we want to thank Caltrans. We want to thank our state directors. Assemblyman Juan Carrillo has played a major factor in that. We've had letter of support from Senator Wilkes, from Congressman Jay Obernolte. So really being able to address that is going to help change the landscape of not just infrastructure, but everything in the city of Adelanto. We have 40,000 cars that go up Highway 395, and we cannot capture any POS, right? So not being able to capture POS also affects a lot of infrastructure projects. So we want to thank all of our partners in that. And then I do want to thank Congressman Jay Obernolte, Assemblyman Juan Carrillo, and Senator Padilla. They were able to allocate over $750,000 for our wastewater facility project that we're going to be doing. So we're upgrading all of our wastewater facility because of all the growth in our city, and we're also working on our master hydrology study so that we could potentially use some of that water and be like Victorville and use recycled water for all of our car washes. But that's just what we have there for infrastructure in the city of Adelanto.
Thank you. Mayor Nassif, I know you guys are busy. Should I ask about the golf course and the reclaimed water there? No.
We're trying. Yeah, and well, actually, Mayor Reyes, Mayor Reyes mentioned that the wastewater often gets kind of put on the back burner when you think about infrastructure. And I want to I happen to chair the Victor Valley Wastewater Authority this year, which represents Apple Valley, Victorville, Hesperia, and the county on the wastewater. And if you have nowhere to flush, you are not going to grow. So I'm going to put a shout out for Darren Polson and team, working very much right now on expansion and how we're going to put infrastructure in for all the facilities that are going to be needed over the next 25 years. So I just wanted to put that out. That's an important point that needs to be put out there. And they're getting all kinds of awards for the things that they're doing. So great job out there. Apple Valley has been had infrastructure issues forever. I mean, Apple Valley incorporated 35 years ago because of roads and public safety. And that continues, and it's not just roads. We've got all the other infrastructure issues and dealing with growth. None the least, we're only 30% built out and 75 square miles. And we've got North Apple Valley that was all zoned either agriculture or low-density housing. So the infrastructure wasn't really planned for the commercial development that we've zoned out there now as the North Apple Valley specific plan and the access to the freeway and the demand we're getting out there. So we have to get kind of creative. Can we put the infrastructure in before the building, or do we ask the builders to put it in? You got one guy comes in, and you got to put in $30 million of the infrastructure so you can support the other ones. That doesn't necessarily work. Mm-hmm. So we have to get creative in what we're doing out there, and we have unprecedented demand. We just industrial zoning overlay right now on 978 acres of regional commercial land along Interstate 15, which we just annexed into the town of Apple Valley. And obviously being on the freeway, getting a lot of demand out there. So we're being creative out there, and we're asking as they bring this development in, putting their share of the infrastructure in and piecing all that together. So that's hoping to offset the infrastructure costs that we have to deal with. One of the other things that we've done, and I had to get the definition of this, we've developed an EIFD program. And this is creating an enhanced infrastructure financing district. And we put that in place in Apple Valley. And this is to help support private sector infrastructure and investment through tax increment financing. So as they build that tax increment and the increase in the taxes that are come back go in to offset that infrastructure. And that's really important. And again, we're trying to be creative in doing this and helping small investors be able to afford the infrastructure that they need to put in for their facilities. none the least we don't have control over our own water system. So that gets to be a challenge when you're trying to put infrastructure in and partner with our local water companies. The town of Apple Valley, we're also working on the Yuckaloma Bridge and lanes to Apple Valley Road to add Choco. I mentioned earlier the increase in demand on that intersection was just, all I'll say is it's overwhelming. I mean, you go there in the morning or in the evening, it's stacked all the way up to Rincon, and there's only one lane crossing over Apple Valley Road. So the council authorized, and we've always planned on putting 4 lanes all the way from Apple Valley Road into the village area, and then hopefully we're doing some design stuff with Caltrans and in the village and possibly a roundabout in that end. So we're working on all this, and this is all part of a feasibility study, but the demand came much quicker than we had anticipated. So we recently authorized 4 lanes all the way up to Choco, and then phase in the other 3 as funding becomes available. So that's happening as we speak, and hopefully that'll be done by the end of the year. And then the village-specific plan, that's something, if you don't know, it's a P-bid out there, which is I've been part of it because I have a property in the village, and a lot of us do. We contribute to a property owner's business improvement district for over 20 years now, and it just got a 10-year extension with an 80% approval rating. And that's when you see some of the sidewalks and landscaping and improvements and the marketing and everything that's going on out there, that's the property owners investing in that. And we invested in putting a specific plan out there because that's a very unique area. So that area, and I have a flyer, and if you see Bob Tinsley around, he's got copies, and he'll give you more details on that. But that has a lot of flexibility at that end of town and has a shared vision and shopping and dining. And as I said, that area is completely leased out and starting to grow and getting a tremendous amount of demand. For a downtown that's that far east in our community, we're pretty proud of what's happening down there. And I know, Jason, we all spend a lot of time eating. We have some of the best restaurants. I don't want to put anybody else's community down, but I know a lot of folks come into our village and come to our restaurants. So a lot happening in there, and it's something, infrastructure is very important to bringing in the development, both housing and commercial development. So we work on that every day. So that's
great.
it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. And I promise the tagline, the takeaway is not, if we don't grow, we can't flush. So, Mayor Pro Tem Swanson.
Thank you,
Capital
Jason.
improvements, special projects.
Almost too many to name, but I'm going to pick a few. We've got some folks that use Rancho Road, and that is a $54 million project, and we're working with the county, we're working with Caltrans, but we also have to work with a couple of other players, and I think sometimes that makes it difficult to do what we think we need to do for our community. And but one of those projects is finished. The Union Pacific Railroad at grade crossing was widened, so there's another group that we had to work with. And right now we're looking at what we need to do to replace the current bridge over the aqueduct. We have more crossings over that aqueduct in Hesperia than anywhere else in the state of California. And they have to be safe. And Hesperia's a young city. We incorporated in 1988. And it made it difficult for us to get funding for a lot of these projects. And now we have the ability to do more of that because of our relationships with the county and Caltrans. But it also makes it sometimes problematic because we're trying to deal with everyone's timelines and funding sources. So we are still working and seeing progress on that. We have a sewer lift station that's going on the I-15, and what was the tagline again? If you build it, we will flush. I don't know. So we're looking forward to. You need to flush. Okay. So that should be completed in August. But another thing that I want to touch on really quickly is that Hesperia is looking forward to having a commuter line with Brightline. And that commuter line is going to try and alleviate some of the traffic issues. And it's a futuristic company that is looking at sourcing and how we can best provide service for our young families and young professionals who are looking for a place to live. But also, we've got a lot of purple pipe going on in Hesperia. We want to recycle that water and use things sustainably. That's something that we've thought about. So another added value for Hesperia.
Oh, thank you. And Brightline unfortunately couldn't be here today. They are in a media blackout period while they're going through financing. And don't get me wrong, I think taking the train from, right around the corner from my house in Apple Valley to Vegas is going to be great. But I think the most important thing that came out of this in the last year is commuter train from Rancho up the hill. Going up and down the pass has become a root canal, let's just say. So looking forward to a commuter train, definitely. Okay. The word is you've got a fat wallet and you guys pull it out. Mayor Reyes said you guys like to spend money. You're probably going to get tackled by the other municipalities today. So infrastructure, capital improvements, counties investing in the high desert, right?
We are. And, we're spending money, but we're spending money for benefits to the communities. Yeah. So anyone, we're not wasting any public funds. We're very cognizant of that and want to make sure that we're getting the best price for what we're doing from a real estate perspective, for sure. One thing or a couple things I'd touch on as growth is happening up here isn't necessarily the infrastructure, but it's capital projects and community needs to support the existing residents here and the growth that's coming here. And so one capital improvement project that's happening down the hill that High Desert will benefit from is the county's breaking ground on a new emergency operating center, EOC. It's going to be, it's a $130 million plus project, state-of-the-art that will handle, it's kind of a last building standing, can withstand a 7.5 earthquake at minimum and has tons of redundancies. That EOC, which has been in Rialto, kind of in a makeshift for years, will serve the valley, and then we have an EOC up here in the high desert as well. And as everybody knows, right up the grade of the hill is San Andreas Fault. So the concern always is there could be a bifurcation of the county and the services. So, there's redundancies built in that we're focused on that would keep the county entirely operational. So we're really excited about that EOC as it relates to the county, including the high desert. And the other thing I would touch on from a community perspective is our park system. So we're very focused on, maintaining, improving our parks. We're looking for ways creatively to fund that. So, for instance, I think everybody's familiar with the Topgolf deal we did. Well, that's a long-term ground lease with Topgolf on park property. The revenue that we get from Topgolf, which initially, right now, and it'll go up over the course of the lease, is $620,000 a year. All of that money goes to our park system for capital improvement projects and maintenance projects to improve our parks, which the entire county benefits from. So that's one way is that we look for creative ways to save money while getting revenue into the county.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mayor Becerra, capital, infrastructure, special projects. I
Okay,
think you have
one
a few.
more. So as we build our new car washes, all of the infrastructure is upgraded up and around the car washes. This year was a busy year for us. The Green Tree extension was finished. Your commute times, you saved 8 minutes. Now you spend it getting to Bear Valley, but at least you spend it. The good thing about it, the Green Tree extension received numerous awards for us working together with Apple Valley and everything and getting it done. We also widened Bear Valley Road at Ridgecrest. Is that for me or for you? Probably both of us, huh? Also, this coming year, in 2024, we're going to reconstruct Bear Valley from Amethyst to 395. Those of you who travel that will know it needs it right now. The 3rd Avenue extension from Silica to Bear Valley will be opened up and extended near the new McDonald's that's there. And we're also upgrading all of our signals to make it better ADA compliant and pedestrian safe. With those three, we have 3 capital improvements that are going to be starting this year. Our new city library is going to be at the Victorville Golf Course. For those of you who have been there, the restaurant is now closed. All that area will be your new golf course along with an addition. The new police station, yes, we're building a new police station. Plans are going out for that. And for those of you who haven't heard, our new animal control center will be downtown East Street where the old Goodwill High School is. That will expect it to be open by next winter with all the upgrades and everything. But at this point, we're still taking care of our animals, our doggies, and everything like that. So I don't get yanked off the stage by this one.
No.
I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, thank you. I do have a question, though. Is the bar still going to be in the library building?
Probably in the back.
Yeah. Read a book, have a drink. That's great. So good. We got a couple minutes left. I'm going to go quickly down the panel, starting with Mayor Courtney. Any closing remarks for our audience today?
Well, I just asked our neighboring cities, as well as the neighboring residents, just to continue to support what's happening specifically in Barstow, as Barstow actually blossoms into a dynamic, epic center of a better way of life, leisure, kick back, relax. I actually brought a hairpiece I was going to put on right now as we talk about this. But my assistant city manager says he didn't want to have to tackle me. Yeah. So, Cody, you're out there somewhere. Where's Cody at? Just want to shout out to our assistant city manager. He should be here, Cody Tompkins, as well as our city manager, 2 extraordinary subject matter experts moving Barstow forward. I'm saying, sister cities, we are the heart of the high desert, but we need you. If you need help flushing, we're there to help you.
Thank you. Mayor Reyes, any closing remarks today?
Just first and foremost, to all of you, thank you. You know, all of this cannot be done without the amazing partners that we have in the private sector. So thank you for all that you do in helping us grow the region. Ultimately, the goal with the city of Adelanto is we want to be the city where you can live, work, play, and do business here in the city of Adelanto, right? We're not trying to be the next Victorville, Apple Valley, Hesperia, Barstow. We are Adelanto, right? And we really want to focus that with industrial manufacturing jobs. We want to be able to keep people local so they can spend more time with their families and just really be that gem to the Victor Valley that we all play a pivotal piece in doing. One of the things that has helped us really expedite our growth is we've outsourced our land use department to the private sector, a very controversial thing that we did. But what it's been able to help us do is get raw land entitlement projects done on an average of 6 to 8 months, right? So we know that entitlement is quick. You want to get a return on your investment. So our team works 7 days a week, even on holidays. In closing, I had my city planner, my city manager call me on a Sunday, Easter Sunday at 7:30, and I'm like, look, y'all should be getting ready for church, not talking about these projects, but you know, we're grateful and we're excited, and just excited to hear all the growth and all the unity that we have up here amongst cities, amongst the private sector, and you know, the high desert is the place to be.
Thank you. Mayor Nassif.
Well, thank you, Jason, and thank you for having us come up here. We're all excited about our communities and what we're doing, and so it's nice to have all the mayors and everybody up here to talk about what's going on. And I thought I'd just highlight a few things that are happening that we're excited about as we close out today. I keep talking about the village, probably because that's where I kind of grew up, but Polymer Concepts is a niche manufacturing, creates seals and springs and things and bearings and components. This is a manufacturing that's going to be opening up in the village. They're adding several thousand square feet to their home base in the village, and we're very proud to have them as part of our community. And of course, Towns Inn, we talk about all the restaurants at that end of town, but they're also building a 7,670 square foot metal building. It's a unique building for events and food, and they're putting some of these outdoor dining and surrounded by repurposing cargo containers. So there are a lot of unique things happening in that end of town. And of course, we know about Brightline West. We've talked about that. We've got a station coming in North Apple Valley. That's going to create over 10,000 construction jobs and 500 permanent jobs in our communities. So we've got to be prepared for that. BNSF Railroad in Barstow, we've talked about that. We know the impacts that they're going to have not only on our housing demand, but our industrial demand, because you put an inland port like that so close to the other communities, all our communities can be impacted. And they've been sending representatives to our staff and our councils to say, what are you guys going to do to prepare for us? So we're working on that. Just want to make sure everybody knows that. We've gotten, sometimes we talk about it's not always grand slams and home runs. We got to talk about our small businesses as well. We've got an award-winning Shop Local program to help our small businesses. We do a lot of social media programming and getting out. Our PIO system their department does a fantastic job of supporting and communicating to our community, not only the political side, but our local community and small business. And we've given out $542,000 in small business grants for our small businesses. So that's very important to us, is keeping those guys going. Our Parks and Rec department puts on 35 community events throughout the year. We have the Freedom Festival. You see the concerts in the park. All the things that we do, they're very active. We talked about the golf course. We put $1.5 million into preparing the golf course. It's going to have a new bistro and bar there opening up soon this year. A lot happening on that end of town. And none the least, we talked about the AMC Theater that was converted and donated. I want to give a shout out to our council member, Carrie Leone, to help facilitate that. She heard about him donating it, and she said, why not give that to the town? So the name of that is the Singh Center for the Arts. That's the new name. That was Mr. Singh that donated that to the town of Apple Valley, and we are in the process of working that, repurposing that. That'll be a cultural arts center, not only for Apple Valley, but for the whole Victor Valley. And the last thing I want to mention is we are taking one of the main theaters. We're rebuilding it, doing some construction stage, and we're going to have our State of the Town address on April 17th in the Singh Center. So you'll get information both from the Chamber of Commerce and the town of Apple Valley, and hope to see you all there on April 17th at our State of the Town address at our new Singh Center for the Arts. So that's it. A lot happening, and look forward to seeing everyone on April 17th.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Swanson.
Thank you, Jason. One of the things that I appreciate about the folks in this room is that they have helped make Hesperia a vibrant place for business and families to come. We're a safe community to raise your family, and I think feeling safe and being safe are often two different things. I mean, we can fix being safe. We can't always fix feeling safe, and that is something that I think bringing our families together with the communities and making opportunities for them to do things together in a safe, fun way, I think that's probably on all of our agendas, especially on mine. Just going back to Brightline really quickly, one of the things that it's hardest for me to do is address infrastructure issues and not have our current residents bear the burden of that. Brightline doesn't cost us a dime. And it's because it's mostly funded by federal and private industry. And that's something that we can bring to our communities that's going to elevate all of us and provide jobs as well. And the third thing is that I always have to get in a plug for the library system. Hesperia is consistently in the top 3 in the county, of course, the largest county in the United States, because we've got families that want to read and help their kids read, and I'm very proud of that.
Thank you. Mr. Thompson.
First, thank you for having me. I realized I was the only one on the panel that wasn't an elected official, so I want to thank and how honored and privileged I am to be up here with all of you, so thank you very much for that. High Desert is a very important region to the county. We're really excited about the growth and the opportunities that are happening up here. As somebody mentioned, in doing that in a responsible way, Public safety is also important. I know it's important to Supervisor Cook in the entire county. I just want to emphasize how much we're excited about how we want to support the growth and doing it in a responsible way and making sure there's the right services as well as public safety in mind as it continues to grow. And this area has changed, quite a bit. Earlier, you were talking about SCLA. I remember when I was in private sector, Dougal Agan, who was the one who bought SCLA way back when, the only way he could get people up here from down in that area was he chartered a plane from Long Beach Airport that I was on up to the high desert that we landed, and there was a big marketing introduction to what he wanted to do for the project. So to hear, as an example, what's going on there is just phenomenal, and that's just going to continue. So I just want to say, from a county perspective, how much we appreciate it, and we're looking forward to supporting, excited about the growth that's going on up here. So thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Becerra.
I'll make it quick. Thank you very much for coming out here and spending your morning with us. The city of Victorville appreciates everything, all of our new businesses, including our car washes, for investing in the city. And as everyone here is saying, safety, time, and everything is very important to us. As expansion of our new police department, we will bring on the deputies needed as our growth sees it. And hopefully we are back to being the key city of the high desert.
Thank you very much. And thank you for being here today. Please give them a warm thank you. Yeah, you can come this way. Go. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much.